Would you happen to have 5? You're not winded or anything?
No, no.
Do you have 5 minutes to do like a chat?
Sure.
Okay. Are you okay if I live stream and record it?
Okay.
Okay.
What's it about?
Excellent question. I have conversations with strangers for 5 minutes.
Okay.
To see what they believe and why.
Okay.
And it's fun.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My sunglasses off?
Whatever you prefer. Whatever you're more comfortable with. What is your first name?
Kari.
I'm Anthony.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too. How do I spell that?
Kari.
Okay. Do you hike here a lot?
Yes.
Awesome. I've come here a couple times, and but it's usually with my kids, so I can't go as fast as I want to.
I usually come with my kids.
Yeah, they slow you down.
Yeah.
Do you cruise through it pretty fast, or?
Actually, this is the first time I came by myself, so it was fun to just go do something harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. So what I do is I ask questions, random people, strangers, to see if they hold a belief, typically spiritual, supernatural stuff, and they really think it's true.
Right.
And if they're comfortable just taking 5 minutes to discuss it.
Yeah.
And I'll just ask questions.
No, that's good.
But what usually can happen, just to heads up here, sometimes the person is less confident in the belief at the end of it.
Okay.
Sometimes they're just as confident, and sometimes they're even more confident.
Okay.
So I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Is there a particular belief that you really think is true that might be a supernatural, like karma or ghosts or God or
I kind of believe in a lot of things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one would you say informs you or influences you the most?
That there's one God.
That there's one God?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's chat about that then, I guess.
Okay.
5 minutes. Why do you believe in a God?
I do.
Why do you believe in it?
I think it's really hard for man to grasp the spiritual and the beyond, whatever there is. I feel like there is a higher power. For lack of a better name, I call it God. Okay. But I think Hindus, Buddhists, I think any form of organized religion is just a way for people to grasp that is so hard to understand, that we don't know. So I think Christianity, all of it, is just a way to formalize it and put it into some kind of way that we can grasp it and ritualize it too. People love rituals, so.
Believing in the God is a way to understand the God?
No, I think organized religion is a way to understand.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think believing in God is faith, is just, there's no way to prove it. I've spoken to a lot of atheists, and because I'm interested in, where they come from and what they believe in, and
good for you.
And actually, it's interesting because I work in a NICU, and one of my patients, the parents were spiritual Satanists. Mm-hmm. So they believe in Satan as a deity, and they worship him, and it's really interesting. So I had to read up on that too. I thought that was really interesting because I'm like, where are you coming from?
So that's good for you. So you're open to new ideas,
yeah.
I guess, or at least willing to at least investigate them.
Yes.
How sure are you that the God that you think exists? 0 to 100, where?
I'm sure.
100%.
100%.
No questions. All confidence. 0%. All questions. No confidence. All doubt.
Yeah, 100% confident.
You're 100%. Mm-hmm. You mentioned faith.
Mm-hmm.
Is faith one of the reasons why you're 100%, or are there other reasons?
I think there's other reasons. I mean, I feel like I have seen it work in my life. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel 100% confident that there is something.
What's your best example where you've seen something work in your life and you thought, that God, he's right there, 100%.
She, I don't even know that I don't even like to embody it in a he or she, but helped me get out of a difficult marriage, first marriage. That was very, very powerful.
How did you determine that it was the God that had anything to do with it?
Because I asked for guidance, and very clear guidance, and I feel feel like that was given to me.
Okay. I don't want to get too personal.
Yeah.
Dredge up all these old memories. But, okay, so you asked for guidance. You then perceived that you were receiving guidance, and you attribute it to a God.
Yes. A God, for lack of better words for a name for it.
Yeah. How did you determine, Kari, that it wasn't just you talking to yourself and it really was?
Because it stripped away all of the reasons I had for staying in it, despite it was a physically abusive marriage.
Sorry.
So it's okay. So it stripped away all the reasons that I had given for staying, and it was just crystal clear. It was a moment of clarity. And maybe, I don't find it coincidental that it happened very shortly after I implored for that guidance.
Is there any chance that you would have found all the reasons for staying in the marriage being stripped away if you hadn't called out to a God?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Because I had stayed under very, very, very bad circumstances. And it wasn't so much my actions as it was the actions made clearly through his actions. Mm-hmm. Not God, but my ex-husband.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't the God that helped you through that difficult time and it really was yourself, how could you figure it out?
I think that's where faith comes in.
Faith would help you figure out that it wasn't the God?
No, I think faith is where you believe that it is truly that was truly working in your life.
I'm going to rephrase this, and if this isn't what you're saying, let me know. I don't want to misrepresent your position.
No, that's fine.
But are you saying that the way that you're so certain that it was the God that helped you get out of that situation, the reason why you can say that you know it is because you have faith that it happened?
I have faith in something above and beyond that's more powerful than me. I have a belief.
What is your definition of faith?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not even sure that faith is even a good, that's such a loaded word. I just have a strong belief that there is something more powerful. And I don't believe anybody's predestined, preordained. I think you have, total power over what you do and the choices you make. But I think that there's just something more powerful, more than just us, more than just a body. I find it so interesting that, when people die, that they've measured this and their body is actually I think it's like a pound lighter once they die. I believe in a soul. And I don't know that it's in any form that people, do you reincarnation? I don't know. You could. Can you, some people believe you're on this track to where you evolve into, every life you evolve into something better and better. I don't know. It could be any of those things. But I believe that there is something beyond just us, that we live and die and ashes to ashes, dust to dust. That's my belief, is there's more.
Yeah.
I believe in the soul. We animate. We're not just a body. I deal with life and death all the time. I'm an
I would imagine so. I would imagine so. In these situations where you think that there could be a soul, you believe you have a soul, and maybe there's some reincarnation.
I don't know. I don't pretend to know any of it.
What about the God part?
I believe, I don't even know that God is the right word for it, but I believe in something beyond us, that incorporates the soul, that incorporates the life force. Gaia, whatever you want to call it, all those things.
Is it possible that the souls and reincarnation and even the God, in the slightest possibility, could not be true?
I mean, anything could be true. Some people believe that, but I don't believe that. I mean, it could be wrong. That's what I'm saying. You don't know. But I feel very strongly in my heart of hearts that what I believe is true. You know, having science degrees and everything else, it's you know, there's always a chance that you're wrong.
Is there a chance that you're mistaken on the God belief?
I don't think so.
Is it possible?
I don't think so. I think there's something beyond. I truly, truly feel that way.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
That was really enjoyable.
I guess it's not 99 or 100%, but you know, I guess there's always a short, you know, 0.0005 chance, but it's interesting.
Are you saying right now here at the end of the talk that 100% confidence is not the most representative spot on the confidence of your belief?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because now I'm thinking back to where you said, you know, you believe 100%, and then you, at the end of the conversation, you don't believe. I guess, you know, I think you're right. I guess there's always a small chance that, you know, there's nothing. But I don't want to believe that. Does that make any sense?
May I ask why you don't want to believe it?
Because it's a sad thought for me. It just makes me sad. It makes me sad for me, it makes me sad for my children, that there's nothing that I want to believe that my soul, my energy, what animates me, what makes me who I am is going to go on in some way. You know, I truly believe like the whole thing that energy is not created or is not, you know, created, or I can't remember exactly what the word is.
It's
but
neither,
it just goes
neither
on.
created nor destroyed or
exactly.
something. Yeah.
But you go on. Somehow that life force goes on. I want to believe that for me. I want to believe that for my children.
Do the things we want to believe always mean that the belief is true?
No. No, like I said, there's maybe a small chance that that's not the case, but I think me not wanting to believe that, I just dismiss that.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Dismiss the possibility of that, small possibility of that.
You dismiss the small possibility that it might not be true?
Yeah, I don't think about it. You know, like I said, I listen to atheists, I listen to all sorts of people, and they have a very strong, I listen to Bill Maher, who is a huge atheist, and you know, he just is like, you know, that's it, we're done. There is nothing. You die, that's it. But I don't want to believe that.
Does the answer concern you?
Not really. No, because I feel confident that there is something.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
I have a card here.
That's interesting.
And that was way more than 5.
Okay.
If you want to keep talking, I would love to keep examining this belief with you.
That's very interesting. What is this for?
I call it a hobby, but there are thousands of people that are starting to have conversations with people about all sorts of stuff. Politics, God, karma.
I think it's great.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Okay.
I really did.
Well, that's good. What did you like about it?
I like that. Yeah, I think it's just nice to be able to, you know, it's always nice to be listened to. And you're a great listener. So, you know?
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
it's always just nice to be able to, so many times people are so quick to dismiss your ideas and, you know, because of their own ideas. And it's a breath of fresh air to just be able to say what you believe without, I don't feel like you had any condemnation or any judgment about, I mean, that's wonderful.
Okay.
I wish people would have more open conversations about things, politics, you know.
Yeah.
Religion,
Yeah.
all the biggies.
All the biggies, all the biggies.
So.
Well, good.
Well, thank
good.
you. I'm gonna have to look. Do you have a website?
If you email me, I can send you the link to my channel.
Okay.
And are you okay if I use the footage from our talk? Okay.
Sure.
Because I do think other people could benefit from observing this type of conversation.
Yeah.
That it's not contentious and
Yeah.
it's a honest quest to arrive at a truth.
What is the truth?
That's the age-old question, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's the age-old question.
Do you ever put your beliefs in there?
if people ask me, then I'll tell them.
What are your beliefs?
Do you want to get into that? Do you really care?
I do. I
Okay.
do. I think you've listened very nicely to mine, and
You don't have to feel obligated to,
no,
but I don't mind talking about
I'm curious. I'm curious.
On the same scale, I'm at a 3. Yeah.
Of belief and disbelief as to whether there's anything.
On the God claim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I'm interested in meeting people that are 100%, or they say they're 100%.
Yeah.
Because I think knowing something is an extremely difficult thing to be able to say. Well, one thing I found interesting about our talk, like just getting real meta here, you were saying that it sounded like what you were saying, and if this isn't it, say, Anthony, you're way off, but it sounded like you were saying is, yeah, I know I'm not 100%, but it's more comfortable to me to say I'm at 100%.
I think that's right on. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'm comfortable in believing that there's a chance that there's not anything.
Yeah. If you were to tentatively drop to a 50, would you have the option of going up to the 100 if you had a good reason to do so?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Let's say that you allow yourself to drop in confidence that the God exists to a 50. Would you agree that you have the option to go up to a 100 if you had a good reason to do so?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why aren't you at a 50? Why are you so confident?
I think every time you see something working in your life, or a sign, or there's a cardinal. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
You know, there's a saying that they every time you see a cardinal, that it's somebody from your past that's saying hi, basically. But I believe in that.
That's a whole nother topic.
I know. I believe in that stuff too.
Maybe we should have started with the cardinal.